M3.
Welcome to the Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast, the #1 resource for automotive sales professionals, managers, and owners to learn how to make money, accumulate wealth, and to all out ball out in the auto industry. And now your hosts, Sean V. Bradley and L.A. Williams.
1, 2, 3, 4,
M3.
Hey everybody, this is Sean V. Bradley, President of Dealer Synergy and the creator of the Millionaire Car Salesman Group with my sidekick, L.A. Williams. L.A.?
What's going on, everybody? The Blind Master is in the building, just so you know.
And tell him we have a special guest today, man. Like, who's our guest today?
100%, man. So listen, this gentleman is not a stranger to the podcast. You all have enjoyed him immensely. That's basically off the feedback that we've gotten from everyone. He's been around since, I want to say, season 1, definitely season 2. We closed out the season with him. So he is one of the fan favorite. Everyone, please give it up for the one and only from BombBomb, Mr. Shane Ryan. What's up, Shane?
Hey, everybody. Yep. We're here.
Appreciate you coming back, man. Big time.
Yeah. And today we have a special, session that we're going to do live, but then obviously it's going to go into the Millionaire Car Salesman podcast. It is how dealers can maximize artificial intelligence, specifically ChatGPT, and kind of integrate it with their video, email, video, text messaging strategy so they can have an unfair competitive advantage to be able to increase engagements, increase conversions. Well, what the hell does that mean, Sean? That means giving you and your dealership an unfair advantage where you could sell more cars using technology. Now, I got to tell you, you guys be shocked to know, but LA is a ChatGPT beast. So, Shane, jump into this. Is that an accurate thing? Is that now ChatGPT can be integrated into BombBomb and video, email, video technology, just like that?
So a lot of it is coming that way. What we are talking about today is utilizing ChatGPT to really produce content, better emails, better text messages. If you haven't taken any courses on ChatGPT, there's a ton of free ones out there on YouTube. But the idea is that this thing can be a guide, a mentor. It can give you data. There's a couple things that are missing with it, like it only goes up till September of 2021 when it comes to like specific real data, but it can give you advice. It could tell you better ways, better scripting things like, hey, here's our script today. Can you make it feel more personal? And they'll rewrite it for you. So the idea of you being able to...
Let's take this into modules. Like, let's say we're building Bradley on Demand's content right here, right? So I want to have like a beginning, middle, end with this. So let's start with, we're talking about artificial intelligence, which is a big buzzword in the industry. Can you start by defining ChatGPT or artificial intelligence? Before we talk about all the things it can do, there are some car people, and I'm not just saying the dinosaurs, I'm talking about there's some young people too that still don't understand what AI is and what ChatGPT is. So I want to get a definition from Shane first. So Shane, how would you define ChatGPT and AI itself?
I would say that it's a tool that is essentially searching the entire internet world, and it's through prompts that are given from humans, and it's finding the best answer, and it just continues to. Essentially, you can keep asking it these questions, and it's continuing to pull and get stronger and stronger. So, when we think about AI and we think about artificial intelligence, a lot of people think about Terminator and like the end of the world. That is far away right now, and a lot of this is led by humans, but it just allows you to essentially do research in an instant as opposed to having to find multiple sources and find that source of truth. You can get it all kind of right through a system like ChatGPT, and there's other ones like it. That would be my answer for what it is.
LA, what about you?
ChatGPT is an artificial intelligence language modeling system. And so basically what it does is, as Shane said, it takes words, all words, anything where it understands how humans interpret words, how we use words, And so what it does, it's basically, I say that I use it as an intern, right? That understands everything about the English language model. I can't speak for other languages, but everything about the English language model, it will say things exactly in the best way that it should be said, depending on the type of mood or industry or whatever you need it to do. And so that's one of the best parts about it. It is skilled with words.
All right. So AI. Elaborate on AI itself.
Yeah. Artificial intelligence. I'm just going to kind of go into, as a child, me and my blind self, I played a lot of video games. And people say, well, LA, how do you play video games? Well, because the artificial intelligence of Mario and how the enemies move is very predictive. And so I knew exactly what was going to happen in any given situation. Same situation when we moved a little bit forward to a Sonic, right? So, you know, the enemies are going to basically do the same stuff. But nowadays, where we are with PlayStation and everything like that, they never do the same thing. And so that's why I'm not really that good at video games. So artificial intelligence has grown over the years to the point where it's not as quote unquote predictable. It's not just going to do one or two or three things. It can do thousands of things because it has beyond a lot of times human intelligence.
Let me jump in though. So I let you smart people say your definitions. Here's, from my understanding, artificial intelligence is supposed to be technology or a resource that can actually think for itself, hence artificial intelligence. To be clear, everything that's going on right now is really not artificial intelligence. ChatGPT is absolutely not artificial intelligence. What it is, they're called large language models. Okay. And what it can do, it can aggregate information out there. It's almost like, in my opinion, a next level of a search. You know, when you go to Google, you ask it a question and it kind of brings back a result. Well, that's how this AI and this ChatGPT does. It basically, based on algorithms and what it thinks that you're looking for, it's going to propose stuff. The reality, and I want to get into all the positive stuff, but before we do, I think it's to be responsible. It's not finite. There's a lot of times that when you ask ChatGPT something, it makes shit up, like completely makes stuff up that's not there. I just read the other day, like in the news, that a dumbass lawyer actually got in trouble because they used ChatGPT for one of the cases, and it actually cited literally case law that did not exist. So again, I just want to let you know that the things that are out there, there's buzzwords. AI, artificial intelligence is a buzzword, and it's kind of been anchored and tied to ChatGPT. And I guess that it's a form of a type of an intelligence system, but it's more of a language, a large language model. Does that make sense what I'm saying, LA?
Yeah, I would agree.
Okay,
Yeah.
Good.
There's a list of like things it can't do. So limited context window, incomplete, outdated knowledge. So it only goes up to September 2021. So if anything's happened since then, which we know a lot of things have happened since then, it doesn't know about them. It can't verify facts. It can't access real-time information. If you ask complex questions, sometimes it doesn't understand it and it won't give you the right answer based on that. So common sense reasoning doesn't have it. So there's a lot in here you need to be aware of if you're going to be using it to like write things for you or do things for you. So that's where the human element really comes in. But it really does save you time to at least get you like a framework that then you can like get really into the more of the details or facts, which is really cool.
And before we go, I am so for this stuff, and that's why I was really excited about this. But I just want it's almost like when you watch those commercials and like at 2:00 in the morning, it's like, does your eyebrow itch? Does your left toenail, does it wiggle? If so, you need this blue pill. But then if you take the blue pill, it gives you the list of all the shit that you could get for the side effects. So this thing has some amazing capabilities. But there are some realities that it's not perfect. But what it is, and I want your guys' opinion on this, it's a tool. You know what I mean? It's not completely autonomous where we could just plug and play and it could do things and think for us and, make us millionaires by itself. It's a tool that if you have somebody that, I love, Shane, that you said, there's free courses and there's education out there, because look, if you don't know what you're doing, it's like giving a loaded gun to a kid. I mean, it's just crazy. But if you take the proactive measures of training, if you take, a free course, a paid course, if you just research this stuff, if you just put some knowledge to it, you're a more educated wielder of this resource, of this technology, and it should be able to enhance your life. Like a car, we're in the automotive industry, enhances somebody's life. It makes it easier. It doesn't make it go away. You still need somebody to drive that vehicle. Is that a good analogy, guys?
I think that's a good one. I think the other thing with this is being aware that some of the other negative effects of something like this is that you have a lot of people that see this as the silver bullet that's going to change their lives. And then you're getting more junk fed into inboxes, text messages, things like that. So the idea is that if you're going to do it well, and do the courses, have a process, have a system on how you're going to verify information before you just start letting your salespeople, for instance, just go wild on ChatGPT and start using it. Figure out what that process and system is so that you can find the ways that makes it work the best for you, that you get the outcomes you're looking for.
Shane, I don't know if you know this, but this is a perfect time to say this. So I'm really proud to announce that LA Williams has actually started creating a course for Bradley On Demand for ChatGPT and how to use it. So LA, can you kind of talk about some of because then I'm going to give it to Shane, but can you give us some of the ideas that you think that dealers could use ChatGPT for? Was it email templates? Is it, meetings? Talk to us. What are the things that they could do with ChatGPT?
I think email templates can be one thing, but I think one of the best things they can do is proper responses, proper text responses. Because here's the thing, if you are intelligent, right, as we would expect you to be, it doesn't absolve you of the responsibility. But if you say, because I've done this before, one of my coaches, my son's coaches, text me something, and I told ChatGPT to give me 5 different responses to this message. And so you can take the 5 different responses and you can either pick which one you think is the best, or you can mix them together and come up with something that, of course, it's kind of what you would have said, but it's just said a little bit more intelligently, or it's said it with a little bit different vocabulary than what you would have used. So that's one of the
LA, I'm going to interrupt you. I'm sorry. I like that analogy, but we have car people out here, and that coach example might not resonate. So you're a high trainer, you're the blind master. Okay, yeah. Let's tie this to specifically an automotive text message. Okay, you got one? So Shane.
I got an idea. Specifically, when you're texting a customer, maybe they're deciding between one vehicle at your dealership versus another vehicle at a different dealership, and you're trying to get them excited about working with you. The tone in a text is really difficult to convey, but you could type your text out, put it in ChatGPT, and say, what is the tone my recipient will receive when they read this text? And it'll tell you the tone that they're going to feel when they read the text, for instance. And you can ask, how did you make this feel more personal? Or how would you make this feel more exciting to be working with me? And they can rewrite it multiple different times to give you an idea with that. So thinking about tone when you're sending emails or text messages, just being able to get that verbiage done well, I think ChatGPT can really help with.
Let me add something to this. And Sean, you might kind of like this, is that if I don't like how my message is coming across, I can say, make it sound like Sean Bradley wrote it, and it will re-type the text message as if Sean Bradley wrote it. It understands how Sean Bradley writes.
That's crazy.
Is that crazy?
Yeah. So we have
Sean Bradley before 2021, September 2021.
Yeah. Agree.
So my wife was saying it's almost having like a copywriter on staff.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So, all right. So this frames it. So there's this technology out there that can repurpose information that from the internet, for videos, blogs, articles, audio bites, all sorts of stuff. And it puts it into this centralized database of AI, of ChatGPT, and then you could ask it to do certain things. So the message that we have here today is, how do we tie this to video? Because, for example, I know BombBomb is the preeminent video text messaging platform for the world, in multiple verticals. How has BombBomb integrated chat GPT into video email, video text messaging, and specifically, how can car dealers or individual automotive professionals leverage this type of strategy, this type of technology to sell more cars?
I think video in general, we talk about all the different ways that people hear you, and most of it is not what you're saying. And so I think that with ChatGPT, we can really start helping with scripts of what to say on these videos. It can really help with building the email, where the video is going to go inside of that email, just so the structure of that looks better. It's going to save you time, because a lot of times when I'll come into dealerships, and I know you, Sean, when you guys come into dealerships and you're rewriting all of their scripts and templates and how long that takes, how much time that takes, this is where ChatGPT can really save you guys time and be more personal. Or you can, if you actually pay for ChatGPT, is what I would recommend for most dealers, you can create personas. So you can create what the persona is of your dealership and then have it write content based on that persona or things like that. So I think for us at BombBomb, what we're really looking into is having things that pop up when you go to record a video that's giving them script ideas or giving them specific first videos that they should be recording, things like that. I know that it's still it's still really brand new. There's a email app that I use a lot. It's called Superhuman. That just recently was changed. I think HubSpot's got an email brand right now where they help them write emails and things like that. The biggest thing that you need to worry about when you're having it write emails or you're having it write texts is Google and all these other things are starting to actually see that it was AI generated. So they have scanners that they can see if it's AI generated or not. So there's a lot more to this, but I think initially for me, what I've seen with video is it's helping people know what to say. What is the script they should be saying? How do they take what they typically say on the phone and put it into a video? Things like that is really powerful.
So this is strong. So if I'm understanding, is it there in BombBomb yet where you can open up the Chrome extension and you start to create a video and then it'll just prompt a ChatGPT script, or is that what you guys are working towards?
That's what we're working towards in some beta stuff. The hard thing is, again, the limited knowledge, the time frame. It doesn't have the best practices as of today, and that's some of the things that we don't want to give you best practices from 2021. We want to give you best practices of 2023 or whatever the current day is. And I think that's some of the limitations of it right now. But I think it's a huge, huge thing for you as you're thinking about even putting in the personas of your buyers as a sales rep. Put in the persona of who this person is. It's a 50-year-old couple. They have 2 kids in college. What would be a way that I could write an email that's going to grab their attention? Or what's a text message that's going to grab their attention? Like things like that. And then putting it in video that now they get to meet you and experience you, right? So, what are the things that these people are buying indicators, or what are things that they're going to care about when I'm reaching out to them for a first response? Like AI can write stuff like that and give you ideas so that you can then use that in a video as a text, video, email.
Let's digress for a second, because I want to go back to something you said that I caught. You said that if you pay for it, so there's a paid version of ChatGPT versus free. Can you explain the differences? What's the difference of the freemium and the paid?
So the freemium is based on if there's a lot of people that are on it all at once, you might not be able to actually access it. If you have the paid version, it allows you to essentially have all these personas saved. If you're in free, it's essentially a new setup every time you come in, and there's limitations on things that you can do with this system. So if you go to ChatGPT, or I think it's OpenAI, let's see, what is it?
Yeah, OpenAI.
OpenAI.com, chat.openai.com. It gives you the full list of like what's the difference between the different capabilities, and they're continuing to kind of change what is offered in those as they have the newer versions that are coming out. But I mean, this is something that I've been looking into for myself as, going after bigger corporations, bigger dealerships, automotive CRMs, things like that. Is what do they care about right now? What are the biggest problems this industry is facing? And that's where some of the limitations of it being September 2021, those are different problems than maybe you guys are experiencing today. So there's other open AI systems out there outside of ChatGPT that give you a little bit more of that information that's more real time, but it costs a lot more.
Now, but for a dealership, I'm sure the cost is not going to be that significant. What approximately do you know? I know you don't sell ChatGPT, but what does it cost for a paid subscription? And now, is there a difference between like an individual paid subscription versus a dealership or a business paid subscription?
I don't think that they have a business option. I think
it.
it's all individuals that you can do, but it's not that expensive.
It's like $20 a month.
Yeah, it's very
How much?
inexpensive.
$20.
$20.
a
Okay,
month.
so $20 a month, you could have the most advanced technology in the world help you be more successful. Okay, that sounds like a no-brainer. Now, so is there going to be plans for BombBomb to create like the training course? You know how like we created the the best practices for BombBomb and for video. Do you think that there might be some interest for you in LA and I to kind of collaborate with some best practices videos on there for understanding ChatGPT, understanding AI, and then how to leverage that knowledge into, making dealers more successful? What do you think?
I think, yeah, there's a lot. I think for me, I'm still coming up to date, but I think that's something that we're really heavily looking into. So the hardest thing, I think, as you think of artificial intelligence for your dealer group or whatever you're looking to use it for, it doesn't replace humans. This is something that's going to enhance your humans. It's going to allow them to be more targeted in what they're doing and what they're saying and be more consistent. And so that would be the spin that we would put on it, as we've written 2 books, Human-Centered Communication, Rehumanize Your Business. It's all about the people that work for you that make your company as great as it is. And trying to put a tool, like you said, Sean, we want this tool to be in their toolbox and then know how to use it well so that they can ultimately, get attention faster and then get people into a new.
All right. I want to compile a list, guys, right now. I want to compile a list of all the things that dealers could possibly use, ChatGPT for. Specifically, let's talk about what the 2 that you mentioned so far, which is, LA said the voicemail messages. So LA, being able to, I'm sorry, text messages, I apologize. So if somebody texts you something, a question, a statement, you could cut and paste their little text message, put it into ChatGPT, and then what you're able to do is basically ask ChatGPT, what's the best response to this text message that I just received, and tell it what type of result, whether the result is, hey, I'm trying to close them on a sale. I'm trying to close them on an appointment. I'm just trying to get them to like me. I'm just trying to get them not to be pissed off at the situation. So you can customize what the end result you're looking for is. But LA, is that what I'm hearing? Because again, I'm trying to train and teach people that don't understand this stuff. The bottom line is this: one application is when you receive text messages, before you just use a text message template that's random or generic, or before you manually respond to somebody and you might not be the best at articulating yourself or using a text message medium, you now can use ChatGPT as a high-level analyzer of tone, content, intention, etc., and get them to flip this stuff into giving you the best result, best response it's going to have the highest probability of achieving the result that you're looking for. That's what I was searching for. Is that accurate, LA?
I would say it's accurate. Here's the deal. So you could do it one of 2 ways, probably even more, but I'll give you 2 ways that I would think of it. Here's the thing. If I'm not that great at responding to the text messages, I would do exactly what you said, Sean. I would copy the text message and I would go to ChatGPT and say, hey, I work at, Synergy Ford. I am a sales rep. So just tell them who you are and then say, give me 5 responses to this text message from this customer, and then drop the text message in there. And then it'll tell you 5 different responses and you can decide if any of them make sense. If it needs more context, you can always add more context. The other thing you could do, if you're someone like me, I feel like I'm pretty good at responding to the customer. So you do similar to what Shane mentioned. I would write out the response. I would write the text message. I say, this is how I'm thinking of responding to this message. And then I'll write the message and then I'll write my response. And then I'll say, make my response better. I could say, write my response as if I'm Sean Bradley, write my response as if I'm Russell Brunson, any high marketer, like any named, well-known marketer, it can pull it. You can say, write my message as if I'm Grant Cardone. It doesn't really matter. It will give you a response that sounds like that person.
All right. So
here's an example. I just went into ChatGPT. I wrote in, receive a text message from a prospect. Can you send me the price? ? How can I respond without giving a price and get them to respond back to me? And then they wrote a response, and I said, write my response as if I was Sean V. Bradley. And it says, hi there, thanks for reaching out. Before I dive into pricing, I'd love to learn more about your specific needs. It wasn't about cars. So it's like every business is unique. I want to make sure that I recommend the best solution for you. Yeah. So it's like taking words that they found from you of what you've said, Sean, and it's creating that text response. And we can keep adjusting that. But think about things like that, because how many times do you get a text message like, I just want the price? And then how do you get them to continue to respond back to you, right? So things like that. It's a great example.
Okay, so I love that. And I think if that's all it did, that's worth its weight in gold. But then the second thing is what Shane had led with is utilizing this on a video scripting strategy. So if you are going to communicate and respond with the prospect, you could basically ask ChatGPT to provide you like a script or an outline for a video. So can you just reiterate what you said before?
I wish you could share your screen, Shane, and show them as we're doing it. I think that would be really cool. Can you do that?
Yeah, that's a good idea. And I know for the people that are going to listen to this on the podcast, you're not going to be able to
write it out. You got a blind guy. That's a good thing. Y'all got a blind guy hosting, right? So they got to read to me everything that's on the screen anyway.
So this is what I wrote out. So I just said, received a text from a prospect. We could type whatever we want. So if you want to just create a new chat, it gives you the examples, the capabilities, limitations. It literally explains these things. If you take the course, it gives you other ideas. So like the prompts, the questions, you can ask for advice. I mean, there's all kinds of things. So like think about even for salespeople, maybe you're looking to get a raise, or maybe you want to adjust your pay plan. You could ask this system, hey, I've been a automotive sales professional for the last 3 years. I sell on average 10 cars a month. This is my net, here's my gross on the front end. Here's my profits that I make, whatever it is. And then you could say, I'd like to ask for a raise. Give me 4 other pay proposals that I could give to my GM or my GSM. And it could literally pull out 5 different things that then you could present to your GSM. That'd be
That's
great
pretty
example.
Cool. Shane, let's stay with what Sean's message was about the video. So go back to write in, the customer said, I just want the price, and then ask it for a video script, like a video script that how they could respond to the customer and see what it says. This is going to be really cool. And again, no matter what it says, once you read the script, once we figure out what the script is, if we don't like it for any reason, we can tell it to make some adjustments, right? Like initially, Shane never told it that he worked at an automotive dealership. Now you can tell it that, or you can tell it that you work at Synergy Ford. And what it will do is it will begin to say, here at Synergy Ford, instead of saying here at our dealership, right? Here at Synergy Chevy.
LA, this is crazy because you can't see this. Mm-hmm. While you're talking, this ChatGPT thing just wrote all this in a second. Shane, read from the top.
So it says, certainly, here's a video script for a personal message you can send to the customer. Hey, prospect's name. I hope this message finds you well. My name is your name. I wanted to personally thank you for reaching out regarding our services. I appreciate your interest and I'm excited about the potential opportunity to work together. I wanted to take a moment to introduce myself and give you a glimpse at what we can offer at blah, blah, blah. So we can then make this automotive specific. So you could say, I work at ABC Motors.
Such. Yeah, my name is such and such, and the prospect's name
watch
is such
this.
and such.
So it's really long. It's really long right now. I don't like how long the script is. So I can say, can you make it bulleted and shorter and make it feel more personal?
This is cool. You can make it more emotional, whatever you wanted to do. See? Yeah.
So it's pulling out, of course, here's a shorter, more personalized video script for your message. And so now it's got bullet points. So it said, I wanted to send you a quick video message to personally thank you for reaching out. I'm thrilled about the opportunity to potentially work together. Before I jump into pricing, I'd love to learn more about your project. Or so you could say vehicle. Here's what I'm curious about. What are your specific goals, desired outcomes? So it allows you, when you're trying to record this video, to make it shorter, more concise. You can add bullet points. And so we can start adjusting this. And once you've created this one time, you can just stay in this thread and, hey, I have another customer. This is what they've asked. What's my video script based on what we did before? So you can continue to create this thread and start creating these scripts. Now you just copy these scripts and then use them over and over again. So the idea is, again, this is a part of a process and a system. Think about you as a GSM, GM, internet sales manager. You want these scripts in your people's hands for when this happens, do this. And so you start to play with these scripts and see which one gets the most results, and you start using it. So you can continue to refine and make it better and better, just like you can do in ChatGPT while you're, asking it questions.
I think this is strong. So let me recap. So we've got how to respond to text messages, but it could also be emails. How do you, if you receive an email, you receive a text message, you can use ChatGPT to come up with the absolute best ninja response that's going to yield you the highest probability of receiving the exact outcome you're looking for. Then what we're talking about here is how we could turn around and use ChatGPT to be able to create actual video scripts for video text messaging or video emailing. Here's my another, that's your two contributions. Mine is,
After these messages, we'll be right back. Dealer Synergy is an award-winning training, consulting, CRM, recruiting, and accountability firm. We are a 13-time Dealer Choice Award winner. We have proudly served automotive dealers for 20 years and have trained over 150,000 automotive sales professionals. We've worked with over 3,700 rooftops across the country, not including our global clients in Canada, Russia, the Dominican Republic, and more. We are the most sought-after subject matter experts and pioneers of the automotive industry. Our executive team has a combined 75 plus years of automotive industry expertise at the highest level. We've literally taken dealerships from having challenges and problems, some even on the brink of bankruptcy, to becoming national success stories.
Dealer Synergy had really helped build something from the ground up. You guys have made me fall in love with what I've always loved to do. I give credit to Dealer Synergy.
I just hired 8 people, and Dealer Synergy HR really was critical in me being able to do it.
You provided the training, you helped us with our CRM. You provided a solution for a lot of things that I was looking for. Our people loved LA, what Karen has done for me personally. Franca, her communication back and forth. You've got a really solid group of people.
Having somebody like Sean and his company that knows automotive, so the marriage between what knowledge he possesses and the fact that he has this great video production staff, it gives you the best of both worlds. So I would certainly recommend them.
Sean comes in the dealership and he advanced us light years ahead of our competition.
Just an absolute leading edge training company.
Go to BradleyOnDemand.com and give your team access to the best automotive training in the world.
We could use ChatGPT for ads. You know what I mean? Like, again, if we need to create social media content, whether they're graphics with calls to action. So Shane, can you come up with some ideas? And Ellie, can you come up with some ideas? Like, if I am an internet director, BDC director, or digital marketing manager at any dealership in the country, I might be challenged with having to create some posts on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok, right? And so sometimes people don't have like a bunch of creative ideas at the top of their head. So couldn't they use ChatGPT to come up with a social media deployment schedule? Hey, what type of content should I create for Facebook, for Instagram, for TikTok? Hey, create for me an ad for Instagram, create for me an ad for TikTok, create for me a video pre-roll. Can you guys jump in on this?
So I think the one thing when it comes to the social media, I think that's great for the scripting of it. What I've found is that ChatGPT or any AI driven content is not going to help your SEO or your SEM. So know that, like, that stuff gets scanned, it's actually going to hurt it, and you'll get blacklisted. It won't be seen in the Google search. Right. But it works really well for pay per click. So writing landing pages about like becoming the automotive mecca, right? For any question, how to change your oil, how to change out your windshield wipers, how to set up your Bluetooth. It could be any vehicle, any model, and you're using these pay-per-click ads to come and funnel to your website, right? And it's not helping you on search optimization or like Dr. Sean's team about that, but it will help you drive all of that traffic to these pages, and you can actually use that to your advantage and grab a lot bigger groups of people in your area. So again, with this, I don't know if you guys are doing, I mean, a lot of you I know are doing ads and pay-per-click and all that kind of stuff, but what are you doing to create more content consistently? That's where ChatGPT can really come in, because you can hit a bunch of these different types of articles and use them over and over and over again for your area and your region and get it really localized.
LA?
Yeah, no, I think it's phenomenal. Again, Shane, you could do something simple like, write me a Facebook ad to hire the right person for an internet coordinator, and they might understand more so, an internet rep to work at Synergy Ford. If you write that out into ChatGPT, then it'll spit back out the ad, and you'll see if you like it or not. Again, I think the key is when you get the response, it gives you the ability to copy and paste it, but you don't just have to do that. You can say, you know what, I want to make changes, and some of the changes, if they're big changes, you can make ChatGPT make the change. But sometimes I just want to change a word. Sometimes I just want to change the way a sentence is structured. And so I will do that. I've done it before. Again, right now with my community, if anybody who's a part of my community, a lot of you are, I have to send out my messages. They have to be in 400 characters or less. And so I'll give it a message, maybe it's an extra long message, and I'll say, give this back to me in 400 characters, including spaces, and it will do it. So again, I use it as an intern to do all the tedious work that I may not feel like, or may not feel like taking the time to do. So if you type that in, Shane, what comes up? Asking it for an ad.
Yeah, so I just did that. Write me a Facebook ad to hire an internet rep for Mike Calvert Toyota. And it pulls in emojis. It's got check boxes. It even has a link to their careers page, MikeCalvertToyota.com.
That's crazy.
And inquiries. So obviously this number is not correct, so they would need to fix that. But it does the hashtags. It does all of that for you, and literally
that's crazy.
Seconds.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. I literally just built this whole thing, like he's saying, visually LA. Like my emoji game ain't even this strong.
Mine isn't either. So anybody who's seen my most recent Facebook post, now you know how I got the help.
That's hilarious. So, okay. So let's keep thinking about, just for a couple more minutes, what other applications? So we're talking about like for content, for blog posts, for landing pages. We're talking about specific ads, not just for selling or servicing, but for recruitment. Let's kind of go through here's another one. I got one right here, inventory. Think about this for a second. What is the key to used car success? Okay, is like if you're posting your inventory on there, let's just use an F-150. Phil, I've got a freaking white F-150 that is a 2020. So it's 3 years old already, and it's got 36,000 miles, and there's got to be 1 million of them in the United States. I know with the inventory crisis, probably a little less, but my point is, how does yours differentiate? Well, usually when you upload your inventory to any inventory management tool like VinQ or vAuto or HomeNet or whatever it is yes, if you use the magic wand, it's called the VIN Exploder, it's going to populate onto the VDP the basic details of the vehicle, the packages, the options, etc. But it doesn't ever give you the sales aspect. Shane, this is actually a big thing here. What needs to happen is the customization and the actual selling of the pre-owned inventory. For example, this vehicle was bought here and serviced here. This vehicle was owned by a senior citizen. This vehicle is extra clean. This vehicle, has, rims that spin, whatever it is. So you could actually use ChatGPT if you want to enhance your vehicle offerings and enhance the sexiness and the stickiness of your inventory for their VDPs. LA?
Yeah. So Shane, as we're talking, can you do me a favor and just go pull a VDP or something like that, the language that is there, and then please ask ChatGPT to make this language more compelling, right? That's a good word we want to use. We want our stuff to be compelling. So yeah, exactly what Sean just said. Now, obviously ChatGPT doesn't know whether the vehicle is extra clean or if it's been owned here at your dealership or anything like that. But again, you could give it special pieces of information that you heard, ideas that you heard on the Millionaire Car Salesman podcast. And if that is true about your vehicle, you put that along with the simple, basic vehicle detail page information and say, in addition to that, it was blankety blank, blank, blank. And then if you ask ChatGPT to make it more compelling, this is what's going to pop up. So Shane, let me know if you've been able to
He's
do that
getting it right now.
Time that I've been speaking, because this is the kind of things.
Right?
You do what?
I would go to the description. The description.
So we're doing this real time, ladies and gentlemen, just so you know. Real time, what Shane is doing on the screen is he's pulling up a description of a vehicle, and he's going to copy and paste that into ChatGPT, and he's going to ask the chat to make it more compelling. So it's going to change the language that was already there, and it's going to make it a whole lot more engaging. Watch how this works.
All right, so put it in there, and
wow.
Yeah, it's already rewriting.
This is crazy.
Prepare to conquer new horizons with this rugged and versatile powerhouse. The Toyota 4Runner SR5 Premium 4-wheel drive is packed with an impressive array of features that will elevate your driving experience to thrilling heights. And then it just starts listing.
All right. So can you read us what was it? What was it initially? Because the
2022 Toyota 4Runner SR5 Premium 4-wheel drive. Vehicle is equipped with 4-wheel drive, 17-inch 6-spoke alloy wheels.
Boring.
all it is literally a product vomit. It's just that there's no compelling, there's no personal, there's no hooks, there's no emotional tie, there's no excitement. It is just vanilla, not even sprinkles, just vanilla.
So the other thing that I did while you were talking LA is I create an ad to request a Ford F-150 truck to drive people to want to trade in their Ford F-150. So like upgrading your Ford F-150 to the new one, and then literally upgrade your ride, trade in your Ford F-150 for a brand new model. And it wrote it all out of why they would want to do that. And so this thing it's not really hard, but you just need to understand what are your parameters and what you can do with it, and the time frame of when, if it's something that's specific for today's age, it's not going to give you that information, but it can give you all the framework that you can just add in that specific piece that makes it compelling for 2023 versus if there's a rebate or something else that's out there that wasn't available back then, right?
And then once you write it, you ask it to make that better, because once you write in the new information, give it the new information, and it'll make your new information sound like sexy information.
So I will show this, Sean. So right here is where it says regenerate response. So I can click that. It'll do a second version of what I just had it do. And so it'll make it better. And we can keep hitting that, and it'll keep making it better and better and better and better. So you have all these different options, and maybe you want to take stuff from one of the options and put it in this other one. So it's really quick. And
you can tell it that. Let's say if you were crafting an email, you could say, I like the second paragraph of the first one and the first paragraph from the last one, and it'll put it together.
So I'm on just the free version right now. The upgrade plan, $20 a month. It's always available. It's faster response speed, and it allows you access to new features as they come out. So it's $20 a month. It's totally worth it, especially for a business, especially for any salesperson that's looking to do something, or internet manager that's trying to make a name for themselves, put out some better ads or consistent content. Or, the big thing here, I think, for you guys is, can you start putting out more blog posts? Can you put out some of these things, these ads that are driving to landing pages or squeeze pages?
Watch this. Go back to this one. Check this out. Guys, whether you're on the floor or you're in the internet or BDC, if you are at a Ford dealership and somebody's looking at a 2023 Chevy Silverado, ask ChatGPT, why is the Ford F-150 better than the Chevy Silverado?
Now, here's the thing. It may be able to give you an answer. It also might say, hey, you know what? I'm not here to give you my opinion, because it will tell you that. So let's see what happens here when it says.
Watch this. Start reading.
So when it comes to the Ford F-150 versus the Chevy Silverado, there are several reasons why the F-150 stands out as a superior choice. Legendary durability, best-in-class towing and payload. There's other information after that. Lightweight aluminum body, cutting-edge technology. So we can take what they just created here and we can say, make it more exciting, or make it, make the F-150 more exciting.
Yep. There we go. And then check this out. After we do this, Sean, let's flip it around and ask it the other way around and see what happens. So let's see how exciting this F-150 sounds.
This is pretty cool.
Experience the thrill of the Ford F-150. Unleash the power of performance. The F-150 is a true powerhouse with best-in-class towing and payload. Legendary durability. Dominate the road with confidence. Cutting-edge technology. Choose the Ford F-150 and embrace the excitement of driving a truck that sets the standard for power, innovation, and capability. Get behind the wheel today and experience the thrill for yourself. So it doesn't actually talk a lot about, I mean, I guess it says right here, leave the Chevy Silverado in the dust. And then it doesn't talk about the Chevy Silverado at all. So
no, flip it around. No, wait a minute. Cutting edge technology, stay connected and in control with the advanced features like Ford Sync, infotainment, and Ford Copilot 360 safety technologies, setting the F-150 apart from the Chevy Silverado.
They're just reading the screen, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you, this is good stuff.
So this is really amazing. And the way I look at this, guys, correct me if I'm wrong, this is almost like being a Lego master. If you were a real Lego master, you could just get a bunch of Lego blocks. I think you just start building a masterpiece. I guess once you know the basic fundamentals of like prompts and questions and how to set it up and how to utilize it, then you could get the most out of it. But if you are just lazy, audience, if you're lazy and you won't take 30 seconds to watch a quick tutorial, whatever, you might get some value out of it. But again, just watching how Shane has formatted stuff using colons, asking specific questions, LA with certain prompts, they're going to get way more out of the ChatGPT experience because they have just some basic understanding. It's like if you're in a kitchen and you know what eggs and milk and cheese and flour are, but if you haven't even taken a basic cooking class, you can't even make a freaking, grilled cheese sandwich. But if you take a basic cooking class, you could start creating some really exquisite meals. LA, I know you like food, so do you like my analogy?
Absolutely.
So LA, I went into one level more. I said, get more specific about why the Silverado is better than the F-150. And then it went into more of the specific features of the Silverado versus the F-150. So just one extra layer that you can just keep on going with this.
Yep. Over and over. You can go as deep as you like. And see, here's the thing. I love what you said, Shane, about how you said sometimes it'll make stuff up, right? Because it will, right? I asked a question about the blind phone master, and it said, blind phone can do this, blind phone can do that, as if blind phone actually was a product, which it's not, right? But it didn't quite understand because normally I'll put quote.
Wait a minute, LA, you are a product. I'll sell you myself.
So listen, blind phone master, I begin to put that in quotes. So now it understands who I am, that's my, that's like a brand for me versus trying to come up with something called blind phone that doesn't exist. So yeah, man.
All right, so
it'll make stuff up in a heartbeat.
As we start to unwind, let's put this in perspective. Okay, so guys, basically on this conversation, it's so intriguing. Step one is get educated. Okay, and until LA, I, and Shane finish the automotive's best, most ass-kicking course on ChatGPT and AI, strategies for car dealers and automotive professionals. Step one is education. Until we finish our course, all kidding aside, you could just go to Google and type in ChatGPT, or you could go to YouTube and type in, how to use ChatGPT and use those free resources until we finish ours. Okay, so step one is education and basic knowledge. Guys, I want to give you the disclaimer, and I want my co-host here, to share with me his opinion and our guest, Shane. But you're not looking to become a freaking Jedi master at this. You don't need to, because it's still in its fledgling stages. All we're looking for you to do is invest a little time. I'd say an hour or so, maybe even less, just to get the basic logistics and understanding the fundamentals of how to frame a question, how to utilize these prompts. Guys, does that
Absolutely.
sound fair? Step one is getting some basic knowledge, some basic training.
Yep.
Okay.
I agree with that. I think that you're probably going to say this is step two, Sean, but the whole thing is, again, you got to start. You have doing it, right? Actually downloading, now start playing around with it, because it's going to excite you if you're the right kind of person to be able to start using this stuff.
Hey, LA, I think here's what I'd like to do if you can. I don't want to pimp you out like too much. You know what I mean? We're not in Las Vegas and pimping ain't free. You know what I mean? But since you are so ingrained into ChatGPT, if we have any of our audience or our listeners that are interested in ChatGPT, we can't do it for everybody, but maybe the first 5 people that reach out, maybe if they text you ChatGPT, you could set up a free strategy session, give them some free resources, maybe some, crash course and training.
Absolutely. Just text me the letters GPT and text that to 267-551-6279. Again, most of you should have my number, but if you've not listened to the podcast often, again, my number is 267-551-6279. Just text me the letters GPT, and the first 5 people, I'll do a personal strategy session with you all about how to use ChatGPT for your specific situation, and get you on the road to using AI.
Do you know what GPT stands for? Quick.
No idea.
Okay. Get paid today, baby. Next meeting.
You're waiting for that. So I would also say, so LA, like education, map it out, right?
Yes.
Map out what do you want to use it for, and then start trying it. Right.
Well, so let's pause because trainer's kicking in here. So I like that. So step 2 is begin with the end result in mind and map out. What I don't want you to do, and it sounds like Shane and I are on the same page, is don't listen to this podcast and try to vomit and half-ass all this stuff. We gave you multiple really cool kick-ass things that you could do with ChatGPT. What I would say is start with one idea, whiteboard it, or have a little meeting in your office with whomever's going to be involved, and start to brainstorm some ideas of what you want to do and then implement. I hate this. Don't ready, fire, and then aim. I was in the Army Reserves and ROTC. Don't get me wrong, I was only reservist, but still, you know what I mean? I understood it's ready, aim, and then fire. So Shane, is that what you're saying? Is that just don't go half-cocked and vomit out there, Educate yourself, map this out, come up with the plan, and then go to implementation.
Yeah, bring it to your mastermind, bring it to the group here, the Millionaire Car Salesman group. I know there's a lot of people that are interested in this. And so by getting people that have already done it and learning what they've learned from the process is going to be helpful. I don't think that you need to wait for it to be perfect, because the enemy of success is perfection a lot of times. And so go ahead and as long as you have mapped out your plan and you're continuing to adjust and make it better, start implementing it, and at least don't try and boil the ocean, but choose one, go at it, get it good, and then go to the next area in your business.
Yeah, it really reminds me of Siri, right? When Siri first came out, we would all just play around with it, just ask it stupid questions, right? Just to see what it would say. And I think you got to kind of do that with ChatGPT. I think you got to play with it and have fun with it and ask it follow-up questions and see the types of things that it says back to you. That way you'll start to learn how it works. And again, if you're not if you're not like a dunderhead, right, and you're actually using it for educational purposes, you'll go, oh, okay, cool. So if I say this, then it'll do this. If I try to get it to do this, then it'll do that. Again, add it to the education. You physically doing it is, to me, is what's going to get you exciting. Action is always the bridge, right, from what's in your mind to actually having it in reality. So you got to take some action.
Yep.
Well, listen, guys, I really am excited about this. I'm excited about BombBomb. Speaking of which, can you, Shane, this is at the end here, can you just talk about what BombBomb does and how BombBomb helps dealers sell more cars, sell more appointments, build more relationships, increase engagement conversions? Explain what BombBomb is and what you guys do.
So we are a video email messaging platform. But more than that, we are a way to help you map out and process where video should go to help you get more responses, get more engagement with your emails, your text messages, and ultimately getting your salespeople face-to-face more often with your prospects and your customers so that you guys do more business. We've been doing this for the last 17, 18 years. I've been here over 8 years. I've sent over 10,000 personal videos. And I will tell you, I've seen it all. and I can tell you all the things that people have done wrong and what we can do to make it right so that you could actually be effective. Again, I'm here, whether you use BombBomb or you use one of the other platforms, you need to do it right. So I am willing, as a member of the mastermind group, to work with anybody that's using any program and try and give you better strategy and ideas. And I think Sean has connected with us for the last, 7 years at this point, because of our training, our education, and what we provide for our dealers outside of just the product itself of promoting video.
And so I'm really proud of that, guys. I want to share with you, we have like a national partnership with BombBomb. If you go to BombBomb.com/dealer synergy, what you're going to find is a really awesome landing page where they kind of explain the partnership, but more importantly, the value. And so Shane is the senior executive and BombBomb and heads up the entire automotive industry. He'll tell you, you cannot get BombBomb cheaper than you can through this partnership. In addition to getting it the absolute lowest price possible for the automotive industry through us, there's also a lot of additional value. For example, there's going to be everything that's included for the individual. Plus, there's going to be team-specific training on video. So we have a Bradley and Amanda Online University. There's an entire section on BombBomb. So if you are a BombBomb client, you will be able to get full-blown access to that video-on-demand training, tracking, testing library. So what Shane has done is Shane personally himself created an entire course, a large course that teaches everything from how to hold the cell phones, how to create videos, how to use pop sockets, what type of content to make, what type of, personas to use, the things that he was saying before, everything from showroom sales, internet sales, BDC, fixed ops, CRMs, and examples. So long story short, if you want a video email, video text messaging platform that a ton of dealers, some of the best dealer groups and the best vendors in the automotive industry are utilizing, go to BombBomb.com/dealer synergy. And Shane, thank you so much. I mean, it really is a privilege to have you on our show, because BombBomb doesn't just work in automotive. You guys are huge in all verticals like real estate and everything else. And so you guys are leading globally video email, video text messaging. And I'm really proud to say that a ton of dealers are maximizing on your guys, concepts. And guys, did you hear the books? Can you plug your books that you wrote and explain what they are? Because this is not a plug to buy the book. Because again, if you're a dealer, pimp them, get the book for free if you sign up with them. I'm just kidding. But the books I love is you're not peddling books about technology. You are pushing education on building relationships. Can you talk about that whole philosophy and concept as we close down?
Yeah, so our latest one is Human-Centered Communications, a Wall Street Journal bestseller. You can actually get a free digital copy of it right now, bombbomb.com/free book. Go get your copy right there. But it's modularized. So it's talking about the problem that you are all facing. You're making more phone calls, sending more emails, and getting less engagement. This is talking about a new way to be able to create your content, your scripts. There's Morgan Ingram, if you guys are on LinkedIn, he's a huge influencer there. He doesn't even use our product. He uses a different product, but he talks about his prospecting strategy with video, and he literally lines it out for you. It's about experience. It's about follow-up. There's 12 different experts that are in this book talking about ways that you can better communicate to your customers and your prospects to ultimately gain trust and, have raving fans for the life of that time and getting more referrals. So this is a great book. Unfortunately, it's not available via audio because there's 12 different people that are writing these different chapters and they came in. The other book is called
I can fix that for you, Shane. Don't worry about it.
Rehumanize Your Business. This is our first book, and this is all about beginner strategies all the way to advanced strategies in using video. How do you use it? What is the script? What kinds of things should you be saying? How long should the video be? I'm in the book on cold prospecting and how do you grab people's attention. I've personally closed 2 of the big 4 top global consulting companies. We're working with large financial companies, large mortgage companies. Many of the people that you guys work with for banking are using our product right now. So this is not something that's just for automotive or just for real estate. This process and these systems that we've created, we call the BombBomb method, have actually proven to work for these large corporations, and they'll also work for you as you're looking to build a stronger business.
Yeah, and listen, the Millionaire Car Salesman Group loves and appreciates you. Also, I'm going to let you guys know, and Shane, you haven't been privy to this, but we are doing our next IS20G15 is going to be in April. It's going to be Dealer Synergy's 20-year anniversary. So we're going hard to the body because after IS20G15, we are retiring the Internet Sales 20 group. So there will be no more Internet Sales 20 groups after that. What we are going to do, because we're great at conferences, is we're going to look to build in 2025 the first Millionaire Car Salesman Conference. Wow. So I'm sure
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it here first.
You heard it first. All right, everybody.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, listen, I always say, listen, you are the average of the 5 people who you spend the most time with, and you've just been spending time with Mr. Shane Ryan, Mr. Sean B. Bradley, and L.A. Williams, the Blind Master. It is your turn. Go out there and be a millionaire car salesman. We'll talk to y'all later. Peace.
So there you have it, the Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast. This podcast comes to you every week from the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. If you have a question about the show or would like the chance to become a guest, feel free to contact us directly at 856-546-2440 or email us at millionairecarsalesman@gmail.com. This program is a presentation of Synergy Records, produced by Tiana Mick and L.A. Williams. Production and engineering by L.A. Williams. The Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast is hosted every week by L.A. Williams and the Millionaire Car Salesman himself, Sean V. Bradley. The Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast can be found everywhere, so please don't forget to review, subscribe to, and share the show. Thanks for listening to the Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast, and remember, where I'm from, money provides options. If you enjoyed this podcast, then make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and leave us a review. Let some other folks know about it. Oh, and don't forget to join the Millionaire Car Salesman group on Facebook. We'll see you there.